This is known as an apostolic interregnum.
Travis Wayne Goodsall. In the Oaks talk that I did previously, I covered the two scenarios that I saw Oaks discussing for the coming day for when Armageddon strikes. If you're a Mormon and you don't understand why we're Latter-day Saints, people don't know and understand. Even the news locally I saw tonight said this is unprecedented, but they didn't understand the process. See, my mom, we lived in Southern California. I took off to Rick's, Mission, Canada, and so I'm not sure when. It was before my parents moved to Utah. They were still living in Southern California, and it was before the San Diego temple. And my parents were in attendance at a banquet in which Elder Irene of the 70 came and attended. Elder Irene at that time was the one in charge of scouting for temples to be built. And so my mom, knowing that, she ended up sitting right next to him. I don't know how or why. She just tells the story. And knowing that he was scouting for a temple down in Southern California, she was wondering where to move. The kids are starting to leave the home, and so they were looking for a retirement home in advance. So my parents were scouting for a retirement home. Irene is scouting for temples. He's in Southern California. And so she was hoping to get advanced information to find out if she should stay or if there's another location nearby that she should move to be closer to the temple so that she can do genealogy, temple work for the family names. That's her thinking. She doesn't communicate this, but that's her thinking. So she turned to Irene during the middle of the feast. It was a dinner banquet thing. She didn't explain any of that. Like I said, she doesn't explain things. Nonetheless, she turns to him and asks, "So, are you thinking of a temple in this area?" Because that's what she was thinking. He replies, "There are people around the world who have to sell all that they have to walk to get to the temple to get themselves endowed and married." You need to understand Irene. He's rich. He lives on the hills of Bountiful. Still, to this day. even though his wife passed away. That's where he lives. He's rich. And so my mom, thinking in her head, as she does, was saying, no. The answer is no. You should have just said no. And so, some number of weeks later, conference, at which time the president of the church gets up and announces the temples that are coming out bountiful. Just down the block from them. Good times, good times. Yeah. When I put the picture of his paycheck stub, I saw the child allowance there. That was the woman that I told you about in the previous video. Before I put that one up, that was her. That was her. So, quick one for Stanford. I'm sure you want me to go into greater detail, but I did get your email and the document that went with it, so I'm going to need time to go over it all. But just a quick thing, I saw your one question, why did they name it the Pearl of Great Price? I'm sure you know it's because of Matthew 13:46 and 45. And again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchantman seeking goodly pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. This has to do with the latter days, as Stanford knows. Kingdom of heaven, it's Zion, the millennial Zion. When the Jews prophesied of the restoration of the ancient religion that was taken from Babylon, by Babylon. And so heaven is not the afterlife kingdom. It is the signs in the heavens and the calendar date clock times of when the kingdom will be restored. And I've done all of that's the whole purpose of my channel. So if you're new, I'll give you a hint. Go to my video page, click on popular. That was from July 2017. And here we are in 2025. It has been a very long latter days for me. And I am exhausted and I need to go to sleep, but I gotta finish this video. It better be quick enough so that I can put it up tonight rather than have to do it tomorrow. And so Stanford knows also that it was the mission president that went to England that is the one who named it this. He had obtained the documents from the Times and Seasons that Joseph Smith had published and took them with them to England on his mission and assembled them into a pamphlet, The Pearl of Great Price. And so when he got back into this valley, it wasn't until John Taylor that it got published into a book, and then eventually got put as part of our triple combination. That's how the Pearl of Great Price came to be. But I'm sure Stanford is wanting more details, like the calendar date and clock time from this. Well, if you look in verse 49 for the next one. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind. This is the gathering. Which, when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the goods into the vessels. Temple vessels is what you're supposed to be thinking there. But cast the bad away. That's the division between the sheep and the goats, wheat and the tares, chaff and the wheat. Judgment Day. So yes, Stanford, even though this is a side thing, ties right into the video topic. Judgment Day. So shall it be at the end of the world. Armageddon. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Jesus saith unto them, Have you understood all these things? They said unto him, No. Yea, Lord. No, you don't. Then said he unto them, Therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new and old. Bringing the treasure into the treasury. Stanford knows what I'm talking about there, because he's the one that asked the question back in December that led to all of this. So yeah, I'll go over it, give me time, but there's a little teaser for you. Hope that's enough. So the third scenario is the one that Oaks does not want Mormons to have. I was born and raised among white supremacist Christian nationalist, born-again Christian peers. I wanted nothing to do with any of that. It was scary, it was horrifying, what they wanted to do to mankind as children. Now they're all grown up, and they're doing it. But they never bullied me, even though I was a Mormon. They didn't bully me. I was accepted to a degree. They didn't associate with me because I'm a goody two-shoes. Adamant. But they didn't bully me. They let me be. They went and did their own thing. I was forced to hear them in class, and nothing I could do about that. I can't just skip school. I have to go into a full explanation with my mom. Well, you don't give me a full explanation. Why should I give you one? And so, I was aware of bullying. I knew the bullying that they were doing to other kids. I saw lots of horrible abuse, of severe, violent bullying, and was afraid if we had stayed in Placentia, I would have gone to Tuffrey High School. High school. Because I went to Tuffrey Junior High School. And I was being told the horror stories of what they do to the sophomores. But we moved to Corona. But I was still cautious. Wasn't the case. Still left alone. So I move on, go to Rick's College. It's a safe Mormon school, the furthest I can get away from my parents. Immediately go on my mission only because of Trisha Wingett. She got rid of me. I wasn't interested in you, Trisha. It was your roommate, the redhead, remember? You set me up with her for the date at the dance. That was an awesome dance for me. Just because I'm shy doesn't mean I wasn't interested in her. She obviously was interested in me if Trisha was setting me up with her. Nonetheless, it was before my mission. My dad would go on to tell me that there is no woman for you to marry until after you get home from your mission. My parents were very strict. It was a Captain Obvious moment, though. But I never knew what to do to go on a mission. Nobody told me. I'm the firstborn. In Utah, it's cultural tradition, but I'm not from Utah. So Trisha was the one who set me up to go on a mission. Otherwise, I would have kept staying at Rick's. My parents would have wondered why I'm not going on a mission. Never talked to me about it, because they don't explain things to me. Lack of communication. And so I come back straight to Rick's. Stay as far away from my family as possible. And pass up on perfectly good marriageable women. I don't know why, especially it's Lynette Hymas, or not Lynette Hymas. That was the seminary. Leanne Murdoch. Yeah, she is my one and only regret in life. I don't know what came over me. She was just perfect, and that may have been why, because I didn't think I was good enough for her. She is my one and only one regret in life. And so I settled for Stephanie. She took me to Canada. So I'm immersing myself in the company of Mormons outside of Utah this whole time. I leave home, I get away from the white supremacist, Christian nationalist, born-again Christian peers and their abuses. And so yes, it is safer and comfortable on my own, outside of Utah. So I'm finishing up schooling, and my mom calls up, and so she's now offering me to come to Utah. And so it fit right into Stephanie's plans to get rid of me. So we go down. I decipher Paleo-Hebrew, and I experience bullying to a severe degree for the first time in my life by Mormons. All because I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. Finding out that Joseph Smith is a translator of Paleo-Hebrew, just like he said he was. And I'm being attacked and bullied by Mormons. And the whole time I've been here in Utah, Mormons have been the only people on the face of the earth during my whole lifetime that have severely abused me, tried to hurt me, tried to destroy me, economically ruin me, and try to murder me. Not even my born-again Christian, white supremacist Christian nationalist peers would go that far as kids, though they're doing it now. This is very disturbing to me, as I know that only Mormons are attacking me cyberly. Now that I'm on the internet and I'm doing these videos trying to save Mormon lives, Mormons are the only ones attacking me. As a child, I want to get away from this. I find out Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are true, and then I find out we've started the latter days, and so I am doing videos to notify Mormons. This is it. This is why we are called Latter-day Saints. And only Mormons are severely abusing me, to destroy me and murder me and silence me, hurt me, ruin things for me. This is what I was trying to get away with. And now that I know, I can't quit and get away. I'm trying to save your lives. And so I have to take the abuse all these years, because I know that I know, and here we are. We're right here on the edge. And Oaks comes out with his talk, and I did the video. And this is the next phase, the one that the church does not want. The actual gathering to the real prophesied Zion and New Jerusalem. Oaks told you what he wanted for millennial life for you. The real Zion has technology. And I am horrified that the news did not understand it, that Mormons will never understand what he said. And this is something that all Mormons wanted to watch for, because they know that Nelson is dead. Oaks is new. And so vacation plans were put on hold so that Mormons would watch conference this weekend. I'm well aware of that. I am well aware that this is my last opportunity to get as much people to see my videos as possible. Because the final judgment, Armageddon, the day that shall burn as an oven, is next. And I know that most of you don't understand that yesterday's record-breaking 120 years flood, you don't understand that I'm the one who called it in advance. Checking my stats today in the analytics page of YouTube. There is the very video that I told you that this conference would be the conference when they would quote from Revelation chapter 16, verse 17. It is done. And I see that there are people who caught on to it and are watching. But most people are going to my final LDS Mormon Church conference. People are getting confused. I don't understand. It's because you didn't study. You only had a feeling. It's more than a feeling. But it's been my number one video for the last 28 days, which is pretty pathetic. It's from September 24th, 2025. It is done. LDS Mormon Church President Russell Marion Nelson to announce at General Conference, October 2025. Yep. I warned the YouTube Mormon employee to leave me alone. Otherwise I'm going to have to do that. And so I did it. And then, oops. Should have just left me alone. I wouldn't have done it. Mormons never get it. By growing up among those white supremacist Christian nationalist born-again Christian peers, I know how to deal with them. And I can be a real pain in your ass. Right, D. Todd? Oaks? Gong now. Surprise, Gong, it's Monday. Guess what video I did over the weekend? Yes, if you're new, you do not know the relationship between me and the leaders of the church. Because you don't have a relationship with them, so I certainly must not. Really, you're going to go there, huh? Okay. Whatever. And so, yeah, I've been abused by several people because of the higher numbers of views of Mormons who don't want to understand before being understood. So you've lost your inheritance in Zion by doing that, but you don't know that you're losing it anyway, so you don't care. And you don't believe it. Oh, God. They come to one video, and they think they're smarter than me. No, you're not. So, why do I have that channel? Oh, yeah, somebody's asking where do I live. I'm not going to tell you where I live. Bleep you. Just seriously? The first video you come to and you want to know where I live. Another person sent me a death threat. Let's see if I can find that one. It's probably this one. As I noticed, YouTube was doing more of their little nuisance cyber terrorism. Yeah, this one guy, and this has to do with this video, so I should cover it here now. On my final LDS Mormon Church October 2025 General Conference. See? Called it. Called it. So, Warrior Rise to Victory as an AI superhero with weapons drawn. You mocking the church? That's all I needed to find out. There's multiple meanings for that. Let's see what you might be referring to. And if you remember the video that I did earlier today, I called out D. Todd's sexual abuse and put in the NPR article, part of it anyway, about how religion and white supremacists Christian nationalists, use abstinence as sexual abuse. I already knew all this, but it was nice to find the NPR article on it. It's incomplete, there's more to it, They didn't do thorough enough research like I could have helped them with. Nonetheless, it taught me about a word that I'd never heard of anyway, called nofap. And it has to do with no masturbation. Little factory. And how these white supremacist Christian nationalists force not only no sexual relationships with women, but no sex drive. You have to turn off your sex drive. And they blame idols. Porn, mistranslated, misinterpreted, and misdefined. This is exactly what the church does. And so I did the article, or the video, the way I did the video. So I found out after I posted it, this spirit warrior of Christ had commented 2 hours earlier, right around the time where I was recording the video. And he's Mormon, very obvious from the videos he has posted that he himself makes. So I went and checked his description. Who is he? This channel is dedicated to spiritual development through the Savior Jesus Christ, specifically through addiction recovery, nofap. And he's a priestcrafter. Cash.app / $WFAN16 is his link. He's a priestcrafter, wanting to get paid to promote nofap. This is the reverse of prostitution. It's having people pay not to have sex, which is exactly what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has every Mormon forced to do. That's why he does it. Because the church taught him to do it. So when we get to that emulation part, this is all just sickening. And I am going to have to post it tomorrow. Crap. But yeah, it was quite interesting, the timing of me finding the article to put in the video and then a comment. Because I wouldn't understood nofap. What the hell is that? And I probably wouldn't have bothered to look it up. But this is a death threat that he's giving me. When he tells me, "You mocking the church?" ? He doesn't care about whether the church is true or not. He doesn't care about church history. He doesn't care that the narrative is a lie, that it's contradictory, that it causes contention, that it turns him into an evil knee whore, which he probably doesn't even know what it is. Because that's exactly what he's doing. Enforcing priestcraft with threats of violence. The order of knee whore that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints taught him, and he's emulating it. This is what I was trying to escape. And I can't escape because I'm the only one who seems to know the information to save your lives. Come with me if you want to live. Terminator. There's a reason why I'm inspired to watch certain shows at certain times. let's cover some of this other stuff, get it out of the way, and then we'll finish with Bednar. So yeah, it's Renland. To emulate Jesus, emulate the prophets, as the one guy emulated Nelson, getting the award thing. Dear God. So yes, Mormons are already doing it, Renland. You didn't need to condemn Mormons for not emulating. They're already doing it. Already doing it. So we don't need to cover Oaks. The Holland, member of the 70 Holland. He's the other one I need to provide you with extra information that he didn't know and misinformed you on. This is my subject matter, the ancient Middle East. He talked about Jonah and the whale. He made some errors by saying that Nineveh was not, or was, Israel's main enemy. It may be in the story, but it was not in real life. Again, you got to put the time periods in correct chronological order. Nineveh, as the capital, was from New Assyria. Babylon in 600 BCE conquered New Assyria and built a new capital for their kingdom in Ur of Babylon. And so if you place Abraham coming from Ur of Babylon, which is before Babylon came and conquered Jerusalem, you're going to have some issues. It didn't exist before Babylon created it. The Bible is not literal history. Scientists have been trying to tell Christians, and Christians said, bleep you, we're taking over the field and turning it true. At least Egypt, Christians won't touch. As Egypt has come out with the reopening of my ancestors' tomb in Egypt, in the Valley of the Kings. It was Amenhotep III. So yeah, the 18th dynasty. So yeah, I was looking on the tombs and those kinds of documents I will be working on if we get to Zion, the Bednar part here at the end. So the real, the new Assyrian kingdom with Nineveh as the capital were the ones who took the house of Israel and deported them into Assyria, and then took Assyrians and put them in northern Israel. They then became the Samaritans who interbred with the poor who were left behind in northern Assyria, in northern Israel. And thus why when the Jews came back from Babylon, the Samaritans wanted to build the temple too, rather than rebuilding their Shechem temple. They wanted to be a part of the Jerusalem temple rebuilding, and thus many problems ensued, but nonetheless the Jerusalem temple did get rebuilt. But the Jews, even during the biblical Hebrew period days, still did not accept the Samaritans, and that's why they turned it into Aramaic script and many other errors in translation. Joseph Smith was right. You should have trusted him. And so the Jonah and the whale story is a prophecy of the latter days. As I've already done that video, I've done the picture, I've shown it this year again because of the Joseph Smith with the 3 facsimiles from the Pearl of Great Price, giving you the star date and clock times of the latter days. Same with the 3 days in the belly of the whale for Jonah. And so scientists, archaeologists, can't find any evidence of whales in the Tigris or Euphrates River. But there are massively large fish that can swallow a human. But that's not part of the story. It's not literal history. Again, you have Christians going into archaeology to prove their misinterpretation of the Jewish documents are true. I see this on tabloids all the time. All the time. It's just sickening how they sucker people in and perpetuate the lies just to be faith promoting. And so, yes, there is the large fish, and there's the Mesopotamian deity called Dagon, which is a half human, half fish god. And so Capricorn is the half goat beast, half fish beast. And that's the Dagon thing. And I've done the videos when Nelson was there in that constellation. Nobody understands because that's my field. But nonetheless, he led you astray by calling them Israel's enemy. They weren't Israel's enemy. They deported them. It wasn't violent. It was a transplant. But yeah, the time frame, nobody cares. Nobody cares. But anyway, Bednar. God. He talked about the conclusion of the Book of Mormon. I'm pretty sure they don't watch my channel directly. Because of, in the beginning, some of them may have. So they had to be educated by the YouTube Mormon employee down in Utah County that even if you're not signed in, your view counts as a view for me, and it is recommended to others through your association. And I was getting lots and lots and lots and lots of views. So to stop that, they had to do a different approach and create a dummy channel to spy on me and not be signed in for the most part, I'm assuming. Because to be signed in, I mean, that would mean that they'd have to risk making a comment and getting banned from watching my channel signed in. Like the lawyers were doing. In 2020. Who are you? And how did you get a hold of the judge's ruling before I did? And so, yeah, they download all my stuff. I am their biggest thorn in their side. That's why Oaks walks funny. It's not old age. Not at all. Not the tardive dyskinesia. Nope. And so he talks about Moroni finishing up the Book of Mormon, talking about the final judgment. I will meet you at the bar of God for the final judgment. And he's talking about the afterlife judgment. He's not talking about millennial Zion judgment. There's a millennial Zion. It's supposed to be. I don't know how. Mormons don't want it. Mormons don't even know about it. Mormons are being kept from my videos. And so, to help you with this, oh my God. In Moses and the Pearl of Great Price, which Stanford knows this wasn't in the Times and Seasons, this was already published as the revised translation. Let's see, Moses 7:53. And I've been using this quote throughout the years because of the first sentence, which technically is the whole thing, but first part of the sentence. And the Lord said, "Blessed is he through whose seed Messiah shall come." Human. For he saith, "I am Messiah, the King of Zion, the Rock of heaven." Which is broad as eternity, who cometh in at the gate, and climbeth up by me. Whoso cometh in at the gate, and climbeth up by me, shall never fall. The gates of Zion. Wherefore, blessed are they of whom I have spoken, for they shall come forth with songs of everlasting joy. This is the gathering of Mormons to Zion. Og said, "No, stay where you are." They shut down the first presidency. They shut down temples. They shut down the church. I'd be very surprised if they even bother to make Oaks the president of the church, the first presidency. Very surprised. But we'll see after the funeral if they put it in the church news. If they even bother to put it in the church news. This is concerning Enoch, for which we also get that he comes to Zion in the latter days. And thus why the Mormon created Battlestar Galactica. Because of this, the Book of Moses, selections from the Book of Moses, the Joseph Smith translation of the Bible. It is in Zion where judgment is. And I started to make a list because I wanted to make sure it was done in order. I didn't get far. We're already at 48 minutes. Crap. So this is going to be tomorrow's video. I'm not sure when I'll get it up. So we first go to Daniel, chapter 7. The judge of God, or the God judge. And Belshazzar, king of Babylon. Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. And I don't understand why Mormons don't make the connection with seer. I don't, seriously. I mean, seriously. Joseph Smith calls his first and second and Kirtland visions, dreams, not real, not literal history. And Mormons can't figure this out? I don't understand. There was a hot redhead in the older singles ward. She understood it. But she knew she was hot and wanted revenge for the one guy who got her pregnant. upon all other men who didn't. 9 to 10. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. Now, this is where the Danites, judges, got the idea for Adam-on-Diamond and their plot to overthrow the United States of America. And the Ancient of Days, which we have been told is Michael, not quite, did sit, whose garments was white as snow. I think I did that video for you guys the other day, talking about Michael and the Book of the Law. This is just a repeat of that, if that's the same video that I'm thinking of. I had already done that video for you, but nobody watched that video. So now that I'm getting attention, maybe with a conference backing for the title, we'll get more people to watch, if you're still listening. Whose garments was white as snow. No, not underwear, outerwear. And the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. Great balls of fire. Camaro has the flames. My grandpa had a Camaro after Grandma died. He apparently had an old life crisis. He was the Ancient of Days. This probably influenced him. Got a condo for a single bedroom apartment. Well, it's actually had 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms technically. He used the 3rd bedroom as an office. But yeah, that's how we kids were in the living room to sleep, and parents were in the other bedroom. And yeah, that's where I saw that he had the silver pennies in his collection from World War II. Yeah. Poverty caused me to sell my whole collection that I had obtained to my dad. Just $200. It's worth more than that. A fiery steam issued forth and came forth from behind him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. So I guess a human extermination event is going to fail. I'm really hoping so. That's what I've been trying to do, is prevent it. Trying all different ways and presentations to try to stop it. Reporting to my government, saying something, warning them in advance, giving them all the documents, and they're still going through with it. Apparently a dog is not happy. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I'd be very curious to find out if judgment has Dan in it. Do I want to take the time? Daniel 7:10. It's probably not. It's probably the other judgment. Most of the scriptures don't have Dan as judge. And so, yeah, I'm very well aware that tomorrow I'm likely to be cyber terrorized. So it's good that I'm recording it now. just don't understand why Mormons delight in being evil and think that they can call it good. I'm still recording, right? Yeah. Yeah, I put her as my screen page. You've been watching my videos, you know who's I'm talking about. She won't last long. It's not her full body. Need to see all of you. All of you. But what you got is good genes. Okay. Sephiron. Yeah, this is definitely one of the other Masoretes who did that stunt. This all needs to be purged and restored back to Paleo-Hebrew. It is Dan. Interesting. And the uniqueness of the Masoretes put the A at the end. Interesting. Or it was an A and it's translated wrong. Because it's Dan of the eye, and then I is the 3 solar eclipses, and so it's Emmanuel, Horus, Amun, Sun Amun. Okay. So that needs to be kept in mind, that there's going to be, or supposed to be, as prophesied, an actual gathering to a different location than where you are right now in Salt Lake City. Mormons are in denial of this. And then there's a little brief one in section 99, verse 5, where it's written, "And behold, and lo, I come quickly to judgment, to convince all of their ungodly deeds, which they have committed against me." See, this isn't just being wicked. It's those who were wicked against him as a human among them. This is the learning of the Jews. This is the Jewish Christ. And as it is written of me in the volume of the book. And then the Bishop of Zion is also mentioned in the next verse. So now we go to section 85. The one mighty and strong, who sets in order the temple. And if you didn't know, the 1835 edition of the Book of Mormon by Joseph Smith had as marriage monogamy. It was not polygamy. Polygamy didn't magically appear until the final year before Brigham Young died and put it in his Doctrine and Covenants and took out monogamy of Joseph Smith. There's just so much stuff that even ex-fo nevermos who think they know that Joseph Smith was a polygamist because the church said so and confessed. No, they lied. Why did you believe them? You know they lie and you believe them still? My white supremacist Christian nationalist born-again Christian peers would be laughing hysterically. And that's what the leaders of the church are doing tomorrow. When they see how popular I am, they may panic a little. But they have been laughing and mocking me that they have brainwashed you to not even know to look for me. Not just reject me when YouTube recommends one of my videos. This is a massive tragedy of major proportions here. When Joseph Smith says, when he comes, you better listen to him or you'll be precisely as it stands in our New Testament. And you didn't bother to research that? As they spoke in conference about how it's listen to the leaders of the church? Pure evil. Pure evil. And so this is about a book of those who are, we'll read it from the beginning. It is the duty of the Lord's clerk, whom he has appointed to keep a history. So Nephi, when he gets to his promised land in the Book of Mormon, begins to write a history. Large plates, and then special small plates. And a general church record of all things that transpire in Zion. The whole history of the church. Not a revised history, not an alternative history, not a lie. The truth. Church won't tell us the truth. A real history must also be made in Zion. Just like Nephi had to do. Because the Lamanites wanted to lie, cover it up, and alter it. Say they were persecuted. Big bad terrorist Nephi. Trying to coup their government. And of all those who consecrate properties and receive inheritances legally from the bishop, and also their manner of life, their faith, and works, and also of the apostates, who apostatize after receiving their inheritances. All this is to prepare us against the day of vengeance and burning. This is why the church keeps very graphically detailed membership records. And they don't get rid of them when you sign the bishop thing saying, I want out. Nope, they still keep it. They just don't let you know they kept it. Because you are now an apostate, and they keep records of the apostates. They know you guys, even if you've left the church. All this is for Zion, so that they can identify you and purge you. If you won't come back on hands and knees begging. And then the genealogies are kept for the records of the history of the church. This is my project that I'm going to be working on, along with scripture projects and a whole bunch of other stuff. Board game making. Got lots of projects to do. But only if we can get the final four going. So, the temple needs to be fixed. Zion and New Jerusalem is the temple. You are joint heirs with Christ. So therefore, you too live in his house, because it's mi casa, su casa. I learned Spanish when I was in Southern California. And it was most likely from a TV show or a movie. So Zion is the temple. The temples that Joseph Smith set up, the ancient temples, they were all types and shadows, symbolisms of the latter-day Zion temple, the city of Zion. And so the arrangement by lot of the inheritances of the saints are those who come to live in Zion. And the names found of their fathers and the children rolled in the book of the law of God. Brigham Young thought he would be clever. He put this out in the year before he died, didn't he? Because I did that one this morning and I didn't get very far, but the ones I covered was a perfect video topic anyway. So great, we'll stop there. Just over an hour. This one's just over an hour already. And we still got some scriptures to go over. Yes, the year before he died, he put it in. This was published in the Times and the Seasons. Wait a minute. Let me correct myself on this one if I have to. November 22nd, 1832. Letter to W.W. Phelps. Yeah, that's the way. So Brigham Young put it in only because W.W. Phelps went with him to this valley and thus knew about it that way. But because of the content, it could appear to deceive Mormons into thinking that it's Brigham Young. Brigham Young knew about the Book of the Law prior to him putting it in the Doctrine and Covenants. And so he knew about the letter to W.W. Phelps. Therefore, as after Joseph Smith died, Brigham Young, as they put it in the Joseph Smith papers. In 2023, they rushed it out for Thanksgiving, and I did a 6-hour video series on it. How it's the ledger. Trying to claim that it was proof that Section 119 is true. No, it has to do with Section 85, you dumbasses. And Joseph Smith didn't do it. Brigham did. And he published it because it originally was just on paper. When he finished, he took the papers and had them bound into a book. That's how we got it. And so it wasn't started in a pre-made book with blank pages that they could just write in. No, they're separate loose leaf papers that they wrote on with the quill ink and stuff, and when they got a number of papers together, they published it into the book. And then for the Joseph Smith papers, they put a type print version of some of it. They were lazy, they rushed it out. Nelson was in a hurry that year to get that out before 2024, which again confirmed that they were hoping for April conference 2024, and that still failed. And so did October. So yes, I was right the whole time. And so the Brigham Young posed for a painting in the Holy of Holies of the Nauvoo Temple in 1846 after it was built, as he had his version of the Book of Mormon, his version of the 1844 Doctrine and Covenants, and his bound ledger he called the Book of the Law. That was the foundation of his conquering of Joseph Smith. And then he went to create a book with black binding, so a little black book, of all of the polygamous marriages. And yes, that's when Joseph got polygamously sealed to other women, to little girls, to other men's wives, and those men never knew of it. The women never knew. Well, the women did, but they were sent in on a different day of the month. Whereas Brigham's and Heber's and Willard's and others' wives were all there together. But for Joseph, the women were asked privately to be sealed to Joseph, and they said, okay, whatever. Or threatened, if you want to come to Zion, you better get sealed to Joseph. So yeah, it's a different story than what the church tells us, because there's evidence. But the Book of the Law is for Zion in the latter days. But this is why the church keeps such detailed records and has the people in the positions and callings. Joseph Smith set it up to be a preparation for the latter day Zion, but knew that the church would be usurped, insurrected, and destroyed, so that it needed to be set in order again. So with the position that is already set in place because of Brigham Young and his changes, we can now use that. In the ancient Middle East, in the land of Israel, you have the Assyrian cult who went around doing missionary work, walking the paths in Israel. Then you get the Therapeutic groups who their teacher with the 12 disciples would travel those paths already established by the Assyrian cult to the different churches of the Therapeutic, going back and forth to each other, teaching among each other. Dead Sea Scrolls Qumran Community was one of those. And this is when Rome then began to pave those paths to make roads there in the Middle East. It's that type of thing. We already have the roads to get back to Zion. We don't have to do what the pioneers who were sex trafficked and human trafficked to come to Utah had to do it in the handcarts, pushing them with no roads. There may have been trails, but no paved roads. We now have paved roads. We can use those and the modern technologies to get to Zion. We don't need to make it hard. We don't need to suffer as punishment of some kind. You're going to Zion. You're going to be perfect. Cut it out. Drama on the corner of my mind. And so, likewise, what the church has set up all around the world, we can use. The detailed membership records, the contact information of stake presidents all around the world, or at least bishops, if the stake presidents are wicked. Because you read, they who are of the high priesthood, whose names are not found written in the book of the law, or they that are found to have apostatized, or are those who have been cut off from the church, as well as the lesser priesthood, or the members, in that day shall not find an inheritance among the saints of the Most High. We will know from the church's detailed membership records. Only if the church falls, like Pharaoh fell, and Pharaoh transferred authority to Moses. There must be a transfer to the Mormon to get Mormons and an exodus to Zion. To use what already is available for quick, easy convenience. The detailed membership records will let us know. And to receive those, they'll have those who apostatized, as well as those who no longer attend church. Because yes, tithing records too. Oh, we have a whole 15 million members on our list, and none of them are paying tithing anymore. You will know. You will be notified somehow through the system. The notification through the process that the church has done by thinking that they are going to do this, that they are the fulfillment, it's going to turn against them. That's why I've been telling you to wait for me to do the Section 133 call out. This is the call for the gathering to Zion. After the fall, after the transfer of authority. Hearken, O ye people of my church, saith the Lord your God, and hear the word of the Lord concerning you. The Lord who shall suddenly come to his temple, Zion. The Lord who shall come down upon the world with a curse to judgment, Armageddon. Yea, upon all the nations that forget God, the Jewish God, and upon all the ungodly among you. Ooh, Mormons are ungodly? For he shall make bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of their God. Wherefore, prepare ye. That I can tell you right now. O my people, sanctify yourselves. Then eventually gather yourselves together. This is when the call goes out. It will go through the stake presidents all together. I'm going to need somebody to help me figure out how to send it to all the stake presidents at once. But again, the church already has the systems in place. They already do this. When the first presidency sends out a message to the stakes, yeah, boom, one button they push, I guess, and it's done. I don't know how to do that. And now I'm being threatened by Gmail. Bleep you. It's like they're thanking me for my service by saying, bleep you for your service. And so all the stake presidents would be given the email and would see it and be notified as to what to do to read it or have it passed out to the bishops and thus to the wards and those who should be on it in their area, to have them notified about this as well, even those apostates. that they will too will be given an opportunity to come to Zion. Because there's a new judge in town, and Mormons all over the world know Nelson is dead now, and that Oaks just took over, and he canceled the first presidency, and he's now canceled temples. All Mormons worldwide know this. So if the church were to fall, all Mormons would know this. So thus a transfer of authority, all Mormons would know this. So when the call goes out, they'll go, oh wow, this is it. And they get to choose. You have to be good, because if you're not good, you're on the naughty list. And I don't mean apostates. I mean the Mormons here in Utah who've been persecuting me. I know your names. I know who you are. And so that is that gathering, to hear the message. That before this, you need to be prepared to go. The parable of the 10 virgins, it's not just calendar date and clock times. And if you're new and you're still listening and you're going, what? Yeah, you've missed a lot. Yeah. Those who are prepared have reserve oil. Those of you who are not prepared, yeah, you're a lunar eclipse. Okay? And that will be the way to have the first judgment, is by being told to come to Zion in the letter that I will send out. That is the first judgment. You choose if you want to come to Zion. There will be stipulations that will be notified in the letter. And as far as you are in agreement with those stipulations, you can come to Zion. If you don't want to give agency to other people, stay. You're not welcome. You don't want to be there, so why come? Okay? And so then all of those bishops will have a list of those from the master list of who will be coming and who will not. And it will be sent to me. So that when they then come, go out of Babylon, out of the church as well, because it fell. It is done meant the church fell. So I was sort of teasing them on that one. But this is how it's going to work so far. But again, I have no idea how the church is going to fall, how they'll transfer to me, because they definitely don't want to. They don't want to fall, but they know they might. But how that's going to be transferred to me, I haven't got a clue. And so thus, none of this will happen if there isn't the first two. But this is what the prophecy says. This is what I'm going over with you. Because it's time. We're there. We're just waiting for the fall and the transfer. And so when you guys arrive in your groups outside of the United States, we have to go to Trump. I have to pay for you guys to get the $1 million visas. That's the need for a transfer. Without the transfer, that ain't going to be possible. I don't have the money. Ain't going to happen. But Trump, in doing what he's doing, is also, unbeknownst to him, helping us pave the way to get you to Zion. Okay? We're using what is available to make it all happen. We can do this. It can work. Because all I'd have to do is show Trump the list of those from outside the world who are Mormons, and even if they're not, they are Mormons if they want to come to Zion. Neighbors, for example. I would like to come to Zion. I would like to do according to this law of love and agency. We don't want to live in a world of war. Yeah, come. Put your name on the list. Come to Zion. We present it to Trump, pay the amount of millions that are necessary for the visas, and I'm pretty sure with the money that you'll all be accepted. And we'll notify him of your travel itinerary, if it's from plane, where you will land near the airport, by the location. I already know this. I've been planning. I already have it. I know it. It's ready. I'm waiting. And that's where ideally I wanted to have cabins for you guys rather than having you in tents. But it's called Tabernacles for a reason. But I'm trying. It'd sure be nicer if the church would cooperate better. And so when you arrive, the bishop or the leader of your party, even if it's the Relief Society president or a female, because all of the priesthood didn't want to come, presents the book of the law, number 2, that you'd already sent to me, because I will know when you're coming and when to expect you, because of where you are in the world and the travel time it would take to get here, because I need to make sure you get here. Nobody left behind. That's why I tell you, tell other people you're out of the Mormon church and you're getting out. And then they'll most likely let you go if you say that the church is evil and you're leaving it. Take off your underwear. If you don't want to go commando, wear other underwear. You might have to figure out what kind of underwear to buy. Though some people like commando, I guess. I don't know. Nonetheless. Because you don't want to be known as a Mormon anymore. Everybody hates Mormons around the whole world. What the church has done has been exposed to the whole world. So when everything falls, yeah, if they know you're a Mormon and still faithful, yeah, you don't know. Like I said, these guys are bad. And getting the nations of the world leaders to help is likely to be a situation here too, to help them get you on the planes. And they're already wanting to deport people anyway, not just America. And so you arrive, I make sure the lists match, and you get assigned to the particular cabin, I hope, rather than a lot for tents. But we'll see. But if it's the tents, it's going to be the bigger tents, not the MASH unit tents. Not a pup tent. we can at least do mass unit tenants. And yeah, that means see, the plumbing and electricity is going to be even more difficult if it's not cabins. Don't make it harder for me. Okay. And so once everybody is gathered, and there's two waves of gathering, there's the United States gathering, and then there's those from the rest of the world gathering. 2 cuttings of wheat, 2 harvests, 2 tabernacles, one for Judah, the one for the house of Israel. This month, it's Judah's. Next month is Israel's. But again, I have no idea if it's going to even happen, because the Final Four hasn't started. Armageddon is about to start. We're almost finished with that part, utter destruction. We need to get to Zion to be safe from it. And so once everybody is gathered, then I do a big presentation symbolic of the gates of Zion and letting people know the laws of Zion, which is love, agency, life, liberty, property. You give it, they in return give it. And so the storehouse would also be discussed with you. God, this is going to be a 2-hour video? Are you kidding me? And I did that, was it today or yesterday? Yeah, 30. Section 42, verse 30. So I think it was yesterday. Which, as you're watching it tomorrow, it's 2 days ago. Saturday. And behold, thou wilt remember the poor, and consecrate of thy properties for their support that which thou hast to impart unto them, with a covenant and a deed which cannot be broken. This is the Zion storehouse. This is the economy of Zion. There will be no monetary system of economy. You will be notified in a letter in advance to know there is no monetary system of economy. If you want a monetary system of economy, stay where you are. You're not welcome in Zion. No underground economy, no black market economy, no barter, no trade, no nothing. Zion, storehouse, that's it. Agency. You give to the storehouse freely without expecting anything in return. You are not to be acknowledged as the, oh, look at my product, get my product. No. You want to make clothes? Make clothes. If you want to make bulk amounts of clothes, which, yes, you'll probably want to make bulk amounts of clothes, we'll give you the automatic robotic machines to make bulk amounts of the clothes. So you really don't need to do anything. Basic necessities stuff will be automatic robotic stuff. And so, therefore, those who come to Zion don't need to worry about the basic necessities. So you can do what you love to do and share it with others by providing it to the storehouse freely without expecting reward or praise and glory. You know, right now with an economic society, people have to get advertised to get themselves known, and they have to get people to buy their product. And lots of people want to be evil and produce a poor quality product at a very expensive price that keeps breaking down and requiring people to buy more and more and more of it. No monetary system of economy in Zion. Don't give it crap. Put in the best quality in Zion. Again, life, liberty, property. Give it to others, and they in return give it to you through the storehouse. We don't want recalls. We don't want defects. If you have a problem with this, why are you in Zion? You are causing harm to others, depending on what kind of product it is. You are destroying Zion, and you will not be allowed. So the poor are just other members. You know, yes, if you are rich, you come to Zion, but you only get what you need and what you want, which the wants have to do with giving back to the storehouse to prosper Zion above and beyond basic needs, to beautify Zion, to enhance Zion, technological advancements, literary, artistic advancements, beautification, sciences, those kinds of things. These are the kinds of stores that go bust first when economy collapses. Then the mom and pop stores, and yeah, coming. And so we need to hurry before the economy collapses, because then money is worthless and how we can get anything done. System's already in place. Okay, so all the rules will be given to you about Zion. This goes over the storehouse rules. And there really isn't a need for bishops and presidents and high councils. You're all joint heirs now. You govern yourself. Once we get you to Zion, thank you, Brigham. We don't need you anymore. You're no longer welcome. You will be in the archives as the Great and Abominable Church. And how that weakness turned into a strength to get you guys to Zion. And so this is how it's run. You run yourself, your own life, your family. Benefiting Zion, and Zion will benefit you. Everything you need, everything you want, you get. So if, like, I'm going to be making board games, I need to make the pieces for the board game. So I would be given the equipment to make those pieces. Everything we need, we will get. That's the dream, the hope, the prophecy. And thus why it will be the marvel of the world. While the world is collapsing, we will be prospering and thriving. And as long as we keep out a monetary system of economy, Zion will run forever by itself. It will never collapse. As long as wickedness stays out, it will never collapse. So there's no need to steal. You get everything you need and want. Why are you stealing? That's stupid. So all of those financial problems are instantly gone. And many of the relationship problems have to do with money. Gone. Find another reason to leave me. You can't, can you? You're stuck with me. It's love. Come on. I know I'm ugly. Holland wants to shoot me. Spit on me. be the way. It's truth. I am not going to miss him. Nelson, I'm going to miss. Even Oaks I'll miss. You just got started. You just got started. I still have to transfer all the files if we keep on going. All right? So in Joseph's day, they had an economy. In Zion, no economy. That's why the transfer is needed to build Zion to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, self-sustaining. And I've told you the stories of how I improve systems. It all comes to mind and I can do it. Already got the design, already got the how it'll be run. We just gotta finish it up, get to the final floor, get those going out of the way. Been taking too long. And like I've indicated, they've been failing for the last couple of years. Hilarious. Hilarious. So, after the ceremony, you'll then ceremonially walk through the gate, and that is the judgment bar, where you stand before me and I have the book of the law in front of me, that you had been on the original membership records, you had agreed to be on the bishop's list to come to Zion, you presented yourself at Zion to be put in a lot temporarily, and then you chose to go through the gates symbolically to stand before the judgment bar. And then I'll ask you one question. What is your name? Maybe a second one. What is your favorite color? No, it'll be, why do you want to live in Zion? You better have the right answer. I already gave you the answer. To give agency to others. And this is how I plan to do it. You can't just give a one-word answer. It's not going to be good enough. And so you will tell me how you will make everybody's life better. And if you don't have any skills or talents to offer to Zion, we offer education. You can pick any field you want to go into. So your answer could be, I want to learn how to do this to benefit Zion. That will also be acceptable because that is also part of the process. We have kids, they need to be educated. So yes, if you are going to get an education into something to benefit Zion, that counts. And like I've told you before, those who are on the exception list don't need to worry about giving to the storehouse. There will be people who will want to anyway. I'm not going to fight you on it. But yeah, the elderly they get a free pass. Those who are physically disabled get a free pass. Single mothers get a free pass. Like I said, there are people who still want to do something to contribute to Zion. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to feel guilty. You made it to Zion. You're perfect. Just the way you are. And that's it. At that point, you still have to go back to your cabins, right? Or mash tents. As people then start building Zion, those who are there as builders will start on that building project, and so the frame will be put up first, storehouse and the center will be built so that the items can be put into the storehouse, and then they start working on the individual lots. And that's where the people who are out on the exception list, you go first to get your lot inheritance. And so you come and you meet with us again, and you tell us how you want your home designed. You get to design it, and it's set up for that to happen. And so it's a separate unit that can be put in place and then removed if you die, or if you grow beyond the space, and so you want another one, and so then somebody else will take it. We clean that all out if they don't want that design and they want a different one, and then we put it in when it's completed. Real simple. A lot different than these kinds of apartment complexes for the city. And then you'll be directly connected to get stuff from the storehouse, which will be at the center of the city, so it'll be quicker and easier for you. So you just put in a shopping list request, and it'll be sent to you. And then that's how we process you out of the tents or cabins into Zion. So there'll be places for education and the arts, and a museum of stuff, because there's no monetary system of economy, so there's no reason to have heirlooms that you fight over as family members. You just have a family museum where those kinds of things can be placed in. This was our third great grandmother's wedding ring, and this was her wedding dress. So there's no fighting over who gets what. It's in a museum for the whole family to enjoy. Deal with it. Because there's no need for possessions, there's no need to hawk it to get money. No monetary system of economy. Okay, that's the initial outline. It took too long. I'm late to bed. So tomorrow